GSL.
Hello everyone and welcome to the GSL Code S Round of 4. I am Artosis next to Valdez, and this is a fantastic, amazing Round of 4, Valdez.
It really doesn't get much better than SOS versus ByuL. ByuL playing fantastically these days, chopping down Protosses left and right, and now he's going up against another very strong guy in SOS. It's going to be a great best of 7 tonight. I'm glad to be here filling in for Tasteless. It's a shame he's in the hospital with his friends, taking care of him. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes, Artosis.
Case is okay, guys. I'm sure he'll be back on Friday.
Yes.
But wish him well, of course. But this is a match that would not wait even for Tasteless. And
that's true.
This one half of the Round of 4, again, as you said, a best of 7. So we are actually going to see between SOS and ByuL who is the better player. And ByuL, a lot of people put him as second best Zerg in the world right now. SOS, on the other hand, one of the very best Protoss, is always a threat to win a tournament.
Yeah.
But sometimes he fizzles out early. I'm excited to see him this deep.
Yeah, I was actually about to say the same thing. It's a surprise to me that he actually made it this far, making it into the round of 8, going up against Myungshik, another guy, another Protoss who's playing so well these days. But I do have to say that SOS looking much better in that PvP matchup. Yeah. The question is SOS going to show up today and play well against ByuL in this PvZ matchup?
I think he is. SOS is not someone who is deterred by pressure and whatnot, as we've seen. Like, how many $100,000 tournaments has he won?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He will do whatever he thinks has a good chance of winning or getting in his opponent's head. So, I've been thinking about it a lot. I think it's a very close matchup between these two. Leaning a little bit towards SOS right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you thinking for score then?
Now this part's a little bit tricky because I think if ByuL wins, I think it's much more one-sided. I think it's like a 4-1 or 4-2 max. With SOS winning, I think it's more of a 4-3.
Yeah. I would agree with that to some extent. I think if ByuL starts to roll with it, he really gets into his groove. He's great at doing that in best of 7 series, whereas SOS, he doesn't really feel the pressure, but I think if he begins to get behind, he can kind of just drop the ball. He's also a very tricky player, so if ByuL begins to figure out his style, he's like, oh, you're going to hide another base against me on a best of 7 series? Are you really going to do that? If he gets scouted out, if he figures out all of his tricks, if ByuL came here prepared today, I think he's definitely going to take this one. But if SOS gets into his head and begins to, pull all the little knobs and twist everything, I think he can really take this one.
It's tricky like that because they are such different styles that we see going up against each other. Will the mind games, the preparation of SOS pay off? We oftentimes in these later rounds do see him do well as you move up to best of 5, best of 7 type scenarios.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at our brackets. This here is our round of 4, SOS against ByuL. And then, of course, on Friday, Rain against Curious.
Yeah, awesome to see those two guys, especially making it all the way here to the round of 4. Rain doing extremely well these days, as well as Curious really, really on fire these days. Going to be able to catch that on Friday, of course.
Yeah.
And then you guys have the finals on May 28th.
What's your dream finals here, Brandon?
Dream finals. I'd like to see ByuL get in there, actually, over SOS. I want to see Curious as well. It's not.
You want to see a ZvZ finals?
It's a ZvZ, but in terms of like just straight up players that I want to make it through the finals, I'd go for those two.
So I'm like, oh, you want to?
If I just wanted to sit back and watch a great PvZ, I don't want to see a PvP either. By the way, I'd probably pick SOS versus Curious.
I was going to say, I'm like, do you hate the GSL? Excuse me, Mr. SSL caster. You want to see ZvZ in our finals?
This is the only reason I'm here.
We've had some epically bad ZvZ finals in the past here at GSL, let me tell you.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, over at the SSL, we're getting a. It's going to be a TVP, but it's a team kill. So
yeah,
no telecom derby stats. He drops the ball, he goes ahead 2-0, and then loses 4 games in a row somehow.
It's a sad thing.
Bit of a shame, Artosis.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our intro video here. All right, time for the interview after that epic video.
1경기
So sick.
드디어 오늘 결승 진출자가
Who do you want? Do you want ByuL or
자, 오늘
SOS?
경기에 나서는
We're gonna split
김유진
this.
선수와 한지원 선수 어떤
I'll go
마음인지
for
궁금한데요.
SOS.
바로 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
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 StarCraft first two
네, 자 오늘
semifinalists. They say
드디어
hello and
결승 진출자가
hello.
나옵니다. 김유진 선수 좀 긴장되세요?
Are you nervous today, SOS?
네, 막상 이제 4강을 앞두고
I felt
나니까
okay coming to the
살짝
studio, but doing this interview now, I am definitely feeling the nerves a bit.
하면 모든 게 완벽해져요. 김유진 선수는 이번에 간절하시죠?
제가 하고 싶은 우승을 많이
Do you feel
해본 것
desperate to win
같은데
the
이제 남은
championship
게
here?
국내 리그랑 프로 리그거든요. 이제
He really wanted to become a champion in Korea in a major tournament. So he really wants to make it to the finals of the GSL here and become the champion.
저도 이진이랑 똑같이 오기 전에는 긴장 안 했는데 막상 오니까 좀
I feel the same way as SOS. I felt comfortable coming to the studio, but now that I'm standing here, I'm starting to feel
한지원
nervous.
선수를 승자 예측에서 뺐어요.
네.
어떠세요?
저는 좋은 것 같아요.
오히려
So the Korean commentator picked SOS as the favorite.
나가지고 저는 뭐 괜찮아요.
기분이 오히려 괜찮다.
And ByuL
자,
says,
오늘 두
I don't
선수
believe
준비를 많이
JYP.
하셨을지
He
궁금한데
always
김유진
makes
선수
mistakes in his
어떻게
predictions.
많이 하셨어요?
So I'm happy that he
많이
picked
했는데
SOS.
상대
Get
선수가
called out as
잘하는
JYP.
선수라서
네.
SOS prepared a lot for today,
자,
but he
한지원
feels that
선수
ByuL is a
줄곧
fantastic Zerg
이번
player. It's going to be a
시즌
very tough
강력한
match.
프로토스들을 지금 잡고 오셨어요. 오늘 자신
You
있으세요?
defeated a lot of strong Protosses to get to the semifinals. Are you confident today?
포토스들보다 좀 더 까다로운 프로토스라고 생각하고 있고 그래서
I think SOS is a different player from the other Protosses I've faced until
김지호
now.
원희삭보다 더욱
I think he's a
까다로운
stronger Protoss, so I'm a bit nervous. He has
그
a weird
오늘
and unique
난이도를 한
style,
상중하에서 어느 정도로
so
잡고
that's why it's hard to play
준비하셨어요?
against him in PvZ.
중상
네,
상은 아니네요.
네 좋다.
김유진 선수는 오늘 경기 어떨 것 같으세요? 상중하로 난이도를 잡아본다면
저는 이때까지 하면서 상대 선수
How do you expect today's matches to go?
잘하는 선수라고 생각하고 상으로 생각하고 연습하고 왔어요.
오히려
I
김유진
never
선수는
feel
이번에
like my
자신이 약간
opponent is a bad
템플로
player. He doesn't underestimate anyone. He
하셨으니까요.
prepares very hard for
네,
every
지금
match.
정말 엄청난 경기력을
He feels like
보여주면서
ByuL is the
올라왔습니다.
best Zerg
지난
player right now.
경기에서도 3대 0으로 잡고
So he thinks it's going to be a
오셨잖아요.
very interesting match today.
오늘은 스코어 예상 들어볼까요?
Score prediction.
한 4대2 아니면 4대3?
Maybe a 4-2 or a 4-3 victory for him, for SOS.
And score prediction from ByuL.
그 정도?
이기든 지든
그렇군요. 오늘 두 분의 예상으로는 박빙의
And ByuL
승부가 될 것
expects
같은데요.
4-2
자,
either way.
이제 첫 번째 결승을 향해서 두 선수 모두 도전을
pretty
합니다.
reasonable, actually, 4-2.
서로에게 한마디씩
Yeah,
강력하게
so that's like a
나눠보도록
really
하죠.
safe call, I
먼저
think.
김유진 선수가 먼저 해볼까요?
오랜만에 좀 부활하려는데 살려줘.
It's been a long time since I've advanced this far. He's trying really hard to revive his career right now.
저번에 이사기한테도
No trash talk
말했었는데
from
돈
SOS.
많이 벌었으니까 이젠 제가 좀 번다고.
You've earned a lot of money in foreign tournaments,
자, 돈 많이
SOS.
벌었으니까
So
이번엔
it's
양보해라.
my time
역시
to get the
일관된
prize money.
한마디를 해주셨습니다. 자, 오늘 이렇게 4강 1경기에 나서는 두 선수의 이야기를 들어봤는데요. 오늘 경기 본격적으로 시작해 보고요. 저희가 오늘은 경기가 끝날 때 결승 진출자의 사인이 담긴 스베누 아쿠아 슈즈 카미노 블랙을 추첨을 통해서 한 분께 드립니다. 경기 끝날 때까지 자리 지켜주시기 바라겠습니다. 자, 오늘 경기 본격적으로 시작해 보겠습니다.
Oh, after today's match, they are handing out SBENU shoes that are signed by the players.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love those SBENU shoes. Thanks once again
Brendan,
to
you don't own any
SBENU.
shoes. You should go
I
down
will
there
very
and try
soon. I'm just going to have to jump over this wall we got here that prevents us from falling down from our high perch here at the GSL.
Wow. That's pretty cool. A cool little giveaway today in the studio. It's starting to fill up a little bit. A lot of non-Koreans here today.
Yeah, definitely a lot of foreign fans coming down here to watch their favorite players. And taking a look at the stats and how they got here as well. You see SOS was able to defeat Curious, in fact, and then MMA, and then MMA the Zerg player again, I suppose. I think that was Soxfree, right? Not really sure, in fact.
Wait, in the SOS side?
Yeah, it says MMA twice, and there's just some S up there on the CG.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you're probably right about that. But it looks like he actually lost to Curious there.
Yeah, he lost to Curious,
yeah.
and one to MMA,
Okay.
and then one against someone else.
So hey, man, he might hit that again. We'll see. Did beat a Terran and a Protoss in the last round, so we haven't really seen too much of his PvZ here.
Yeah.
In Code S.
And I would say that definitely favors him because ByuL, he knows what kind of player SOS is, but he hasn't seen too much of his PvZ. He knows he's a tricky player. Even ByuL said in his interview, he's kind of got a weird style.
Yeah.
And he should have prepared a ton for this matchup because I think SOS can literally throw anything at him. He's got all the tools in the toolbox. He is the mechanic Protoss Arthrosis.
That's so funny because I never think of him as mechanical, but he's definitely the mechanic Protoss. You see the map pool here. Deadwing, Merry-Go-Round, Overgrowth, King Sage on Station, Iron Fortress, Vonnie Research Station, and Expedition Lost.
Okay. So SOS definitely got the first pick there. Going into Merry-Go-Round for set 2. Going to be very good for ByuL there on that map. Overgrowth as a set 3 pick for SOS. It's kind of interesting.
Huh. Well, I'm actually very interested to see what he wants to open with on each map because SOS is such a tricky player. Like, I think that ByuL has to always be ready for Cannon Rush. That's something you always have to think about with SOS is PvZ is the best Cannon Rusher in the world.
Yeah.
The best.
He really is. It's so annoying. It's kind of like how Rogue is so good against Protoss early on with his proxy hatchering. Just kind of on the opposite end of things in the same matchup from a Protoss player. SOS is just so tricky from early, mid, and late game. You're gonna be tricked.
Yeah.
And yeah, interesting that Expedition Lost comes in at last. We've seen either overwhelming Zerg victories or overwhelming Protoss victories on that map. So I guess both players are kind of just staying away from that kind of volatile map until the end.
Yeah, that is such the case. By the way, thank you for coming down, everybody. Welcome to the studio here in beautiful Gangnam, Seoul, South Korea.
So many fans here today. I'm really hyped to get into this best of 7.
Yeah, everyone chose a really great day to come down here. Both these round of 4 matches are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But I like what you said about Expedition Loss. I guess we'll talk about that if we get to that map. But both these guys seem to think that's not too likely, which I can't really blame them for. I think that it's kind of like the Marugris Rain match. I was like, oh, I think this will be a 3-1 one way or the other. Because I think when you get 2 players of that level with really conflicting styles, one guy has the other guy figured out better and just beats him.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And it's not close.
Yeah, it's like, will SOS, is he inside the brain of ByuL all the way? Or is ByuL prepared for just a multitude of craziness coming out of SOS? And I think that it's hard to say which way that's going to go, but I do think that 4-2 is a really great prediction there by ByuL.
Yeah. We just got to look at SOS's recent matches against Zergs. A lot of best-of-1 series in Pro League, in fact. I think like 6 of those games were there. Besides that were the 2 best-of-3s he had in the round of 32 over here at the GSL. One which was against Oxford, and one, of course, that he lost to Curious for. So that's not really that much information for ByuL to go off of in recent times here of SOS's PvZ playing.
Well, I'm going to have to see, I think you don't even really want to watch too much SOS games, like to prepare for SOS, to be perfectly honest. I think that you have to, you have to know exactly what you're doing against Cannon Rush, like exactly what you're doing. Either you have to know if you can stop something, a Cannon Rush, like a various one that you may not have seen, and exactly how many drones you may want to pull for that, if you want to cancel your hatch, when, where you're building your new hatches, and how you're dealing with follow-ups to that, because SOS is literally by far the best at that in the world. So I think you need that mapped out, and other than that, you just need to have good scouting, good fundamentals, have your overlords in the right spot, spread your creep, try to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely true. Another thing to mention is that ByuL has one of the best Protoss players in the world on his team in Hero. And so I'm sure those guys have been practicing together so much. Yeah. On the flip side, SOS has Rogue to practice with.
Yeah.
And Rogue is just an extremely smart player, where I feel Hero he's very smart, but overall he's just more solid, I feel. Whereas I think Rogue's more of a thinker.
Rogue is definitely a thinking Zerg. I have to agree with you on that one.
taking a look at ByuL's recent matches against Protoss, having a lot of them in fact, a lot of best of 3 series, even best of 5.
You know, I wonder how useful it is to practice against Rogue, because Rogue would know SOS's style so well. I almost feel like SOS has to like practice on the ladder, because like if you know what he's doing, if you know his style, like inside because you play with him very regularly, I think his win rate drops a lot. You know what I mean? Like if
I could see that.
Because like if he's practicing the same tricks on you as a teammate a lot, like how will that turn out?
Well, SOS is a very tricky player, but he's also a decently strong macro Protoss at the same time, so you can't really take that much away from him. I do agree with you that if you play with him like way too much, he loses that tricky side of him, and then he just becomes a solid macro Protoss who's not as good as some other better macro Protosses.
Yeah, we could probably name 2-3 Protosses that are probably just better straight up than him. Yeah. So it's good way to look at it. Well, Deadwing, guys, is our opening map, a 3-player map, I guess. Yeah. But definitely one you have to look out for Cannon Rush on. Would not be surprised at all to see SOS open with that. But it's almost so predictable that he wouldn't want to do it, which would make him want to do it to really get in ByuL's head.
That's the problem with base and SOS, man. You don't know what he's going to do. In game 1, he can pull it out here to get to ByuL's head, or he could just pull it out randomly in game 4 or 5. Just say, F you, I'm going to do whatever I want. You can't control me, ByuL.
Yeah. It is a fact. Well, we think it's a fact. We'll see if ByuL can control him. Well, all right, guys. The map is loading up. Looks like we're almost ready to get into this first game. Tell your friends to come watch the GSL Code S Round of 4, because it is going to be epic tonight.
Welcome to a GSL.
Down here in the bottom left in the red, our Protoss player, he is
Gene Green Wings SOS.
And his opponent in the top right, one of the best Zergs in the world,
CJN2's ByuL.
So, starting the game off, cross spawns. Could be a bit of a longer one to begin the night.
Yeah, it could be. The Overlord not going in the right direction. We'll see if he sends the probe out to make a forge right now. Yeah, 2 probes, man. You know what that means. That's a cannon rush.
This guy, man, you really can't control him.
No.
He'll just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You called it, actually, coming into game number 1 here.
Well,
I think this is purely just a momentum move, and also the fact that you wouldn't expect it on this big of a map, but ByuL's already got him figured out.
Yeah.
Early pull.
This is the thing, too, because it's like both the things you say are very true, and also the choke at your natural here, right there, it's so wide that you're like, ooh, do I really want to do a gateway expand? Because if you go for fast speed, that can be a little bit tough, a little bit tricky, so here's the thing, though. ByuL might think that pool first saves him from a cannon rush, which isn't necessarily the case. Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Well, that was a little tiny bit of indecision there.
Yeah.
Which, that actually, that kind of throws me off that he had some indecision. I think what happened is he glanced at it, he saw it, and he was like, oh, okay, actually that's pool first, because of how far along the hatchery was. So he might have decided that he'll only cannon rush against hatchery first.
I think that's smart. He loses a bit of extra minerals by, of course, canceling the pylon, but also, more importantly, sending out the 2 probes very early on to get the early scout. But it's not really going to matter all that much, because he didn't really commit to it. He's not going to lose much. He's just going to go back, put up a nexus, set up that wall, like you were saying, and that's about it.
Yeah, when you really look at it, it's like, well, his opponent went pool first instead of hatch first. That slowed him down a little bit. I guess slight advantage to ByuL at the moment, but it's not bad for SOS. This game is still totally fine.
I'm also loving what Zerg players are doing a bit recently. It happens from time to time, but I've been seeing it more recently as well, as where they go pool first just to be safe, and then they go straight into 3 hatch very, very early.
Yeah. I like it. It's like a kind of a good way to make up for your little bit of being behind. And I do like that he got really quick gas as well. Some of these Protosses have become very, very good with pressure against gasless 3-base Zergs. So
Yeah.
ByuL playing pretty safe to start here, and this is definitely something you got to remember, guys. This is a best of 7. This isn't like a best of 3 where it's like, okay, so build order advantage slight to ByuL. This is a best of 7 where it's like, okay, ByuL played this game very well, very safely. SOS has to consider that moving forward because this is just 1 out of 7 games, and this is information SOS may use against him in the future.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big part of big series. Is also Classic, a player pretty famously for noting that he feels like Dream isn't as smart of a player as Classic himself is, so he should be able to take that best of 7. We'll see when that happens.
Yeah.
But
It's always interesting to see the opinions players have on each other and how smart they all think they are. I'd say anyone that's in Code S is pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some Lings on the way, a Stargate being produced as well.
Yeah.
So should be seeing an Oracle, I would guess.
Just 8 Lings here in addition to those first 2. Oh, wow, he's actually going to add a bit more. I hope he doesn't get...
that's a lot more.
I hope he doesn't, get the itch. He had a lot of games against Parting where the Lings somehow just made it through over and over again. I hope he's not like, well, I could just do this again. I could just do this every single time.
Yeah, definitely not the case. Definitely something he should learn to not try every time. But he's going to get a cancel on Nexus for sure. Even with an Oracle out, SOS can't do very much against this. In fact, he might get 2 pylon kills. So see, he'll start to defend with this, but it's actually there's enough Lings being made that this isn't actually going to be able to defend everything.
The fact that he's committing to even more Lings, if it were just this amount, I would say no. But especially because he got that cannon up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he's out of energy here, and look, that is a canceled cannon, a canceled gateway, a canceled Nexus, 2 dead pylons.
he's desperately trying to get out of Void Ray here. But there's more and more Zerglings coming, and you were right, this Nexus is definitely going to be canceled.
It's a big deal, man. ByuL is taking a huge advantage now.
Yeah.
And this is SOS being a little bit greedy. He saw the pool first into double hatchery. That is something that if I recall correctly, ByuL did a build somewhat similar to this against Parting where he didn't go gas. Like, if he didn't go gas, SOS has a huge advantage with this build, but instead, oh god, he just tried to make the Nexus again.
Yeah, it's just not going to work. Maybe even when that second Void Ray comes out, it may not even work then. We're going to see a second Stargate coming down. So pretty heavy committal to air units here from SOS.
Dude, this is definitely. I think this is him just kind of improvising at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely. I'm not liking the position here of SOS. He floats 1,200 minerals. He gets supply block on 60 for a very long time. He's just getting flustered here a bit.
Yeah, he's getting flustered. He's getting frustrated. It's.
Frustrated.
Yeah, man.
That's a good combination, actually.
Well, not for SOS, it's not.
No.
But
good for ByuL.
Man, this is a tough thing. Now, SOS is a Protoss that still goes Sky Toss against Zerg from time to time. Last time I saw him do it on this map, he got Shrek'd. So I'm a little bit nervous for him.
Well.
ByuL has quite an advantage right now in this game, so...
Yeah, it's just such a smart play from ByuL. Like you were saying, getting that gas, the Zergling speed is helping him out so much. It's just a huge tempo play. Like, he forgoes making a bunch of drones at that moment in time to just put the Protoss so far behind that it just does not matter. And then you have total map control. You can build as many drones as you want, get as many upgrades as you really want, all the tech in the world. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. We got a Hydroden, we got a Spire. We even got +1 to melee.
I love that. That's like such a nice upgrade to get when you're teching wildly and not getting roaches and stuff like that. That +1 Zergling attack is going to really help those Lings that you can pump all your extra minerals into be more effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mass of Hydras is going to be an issue because SOS's economy is just behind. Like, when you're going 3 Stargate Void Ray and your opponent is going into like a 4-base Hydra, if you had your 3 bases up, you'll be all right. You know, you can like make some Zealots, get some charge, something like that, or just make a bunch of ground units. But right now, there's no real ground production for SOS. How does he hold on against just a slew of Hydras?
That's the question, really. And we also see +1 to range units here. He may just go for a gigantic Ling Hydra attack.
I think so.
He has that Spire just in case. He hasn't used it just yet. No upgrades even coming out of that, but looks like he got the range. Now he's getting the speed, and he's just going to push across the map and try to punish SOS here. And I don't think SOS is going to have enough.
I don't think so. Even if he adds like 7 cannons right now, I think he still gets broken.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
he needs to add those cannons right now if he wants to get cannons. He's got 2, but is that going to be enough?
Now we will see. Nice targeting. Nice Nexus cannon here. The thing is, even if he has this area well defended, there's this little thing called destructible rocks that is natural, which can be tough to break into, or easy to break into as well.
Yeah.
All right,
Bill's
good
just
force
going
fields.
for it.
Really good force fields.
Yeah, look at all those Hydras in the back that are not shooting. And the ones that were shooting the gateway. Now there's just too many Void Rays here.
Wow.
And it turns out that it's not enough for ByuL.
Yeah, he had like exactly enough force fields there to just divide that up perfectly. You know, I remember way back at the beginning of StarCraft II, In Control told me, he's like, you know what? Force fields and Void Rays pair very well. And that's something that we continue to see to this day. If you force field
it's been so
just
long,
right,
but it still works out.
like if there's not a lot attacking the Void Ray beats it. Like Void Ray against little amounts of thing is amazing. It's just that it's so expensive. People have lots of things when you have Void Rays. But
yeah, and even after
that's my children's book about Void Rays that the way I explained that one.
well said, Artis. But even after all the changes to the Void Ray, it still seems to work out pretty strongly.
Yeah.
Soracle gets 14 kills. Most of those are Zerglings, I believe. And because SOS was able to hold on, it's not looking so bad for him after all.
No, now it's all right, right?
I love the addition of the Baneling Nest. I feel like ByuL's saying, okay, you're just going to go Charge Lit and it's a bunch of Void Rays, and I'm just going to try to blow you up with a bunch of Banelings instead. But with that Storm, if SOS has like impeccable control with his army, I think it's going to be pretty hard for ByuL.
Yeah.
Just because he's getting everything out. Now that attack failed, it gives SOS so much room to put down a 4th base. And a Protoss with triple Stargate on 4 bases, getting all this new tech and stuff, it's going to be pretty scary.
Well, the one thing that I really like for ByuL is the fact that he can get some Infestors out. And yeah, High Templars can do very well against Infestors, but Fungal is kind of a funny spell. Like if you Fungal High Templars, you can start to chain them. That is a fact, and you can get quite a few of them. So we'll have to see. I think a lot of it is going to come down to micro. Like, is his micro going to be on point? SOS's, that is. To be able to, you know, prevent the Banelings from running into his Zealots, to get the feedbacks off, to get the Storms off that he needs.
Yeah, that's going to be the big question. We even see Baneling speed being used. It has been so long since I've seen this in ZvP.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time, Artosis.
It's quite some time indeed. 8 Infestors on the way, getting Adrenal upgrades for those Zerglings. Already this game really cool. Look at that, an Ultralisk Cavern. He's like, yes, I realize that in fact you do have 10 Void Rays, sir, but I am going to make my Ultralisk Cavern anyways. Because I know what type of game this will be.
Yeah. If he can land like a couple of Fungals, it can be pretty nice to at least force out a recall.
Yeah.
Very smartly by SOS bringing that Mothership Core.
Yeah.
But let's see how much damage this is going to get done. Maybe he can even snipe that Baneling Nest.
Before Baneling speed.
He's just going to go for the hatchery. Also a great idea.
Well,
there you go.
He gets it, and here goes an upgrade, and there goes a Fungal.
And
he doesn't lose anything.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
that's a pretty strong move by SOS, I have to say.
Kill a bunch of stuff and not lose anything. Yeah, it sounds all right. Like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Takes someone like SOS to pull off a strat like this, though. I just tell you, when I saw that many Hydras walk across the map against a guy who had like 7 Void Rays, I'm like, no.
I was ready to get to game 2 already.
I was like, all right, I guess this is ByuL's. But no, SOS is so on top of it.
Yeah.
This is something that is so hard to even practice against. Like, who pulls a game like this? Like, you cancel their Nexus 2 or 3 times, and they're like, I'll just make a bunch of Voiders off 2 base. It's fine. No problem. Oh,
Yeah.
you have Mass Hydra? Oh, it's cool.
The funniest thing was that he seemed to just do it all, in the spur of the moment. Just very improvisational from SOS.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if that's a word, but
It
he was
is.
like, my Oracle has run out of energy. I need stuff that's not going to run out of energy. What sounds great there? It looks like Void Rays are the choice. And they've been working out so well for him so far.
Well, he's making a move with them once again. Probably going to go and try to snipe another base. A couple Side Storms do go down here. Oh, that Baneling trying to get into the High Templars.
Scariest Baneling ever.
Yeah. Well, we do have some Infested Terrans being thrown up. That's pretty cool. Make him waste some energy on that. It's reasonable.
Yeah, he's got so much Storm, but at this point, it's almost like ByuL's just throwing away supply to try to go into Broodlords even.
Oh, look at all those Overlords.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
We got some major Zealot harass at the 5th base of ByuL while these Void Rays coming in once again. They snipe another hatchery. 24 drones have gone down over at this base.
Oh, man.
Look at all those investors just go down for free. He gets like a couple of fungals. It's not going to matter. There's way too many Void Rays.
Well, he has some Hydras coming in for the flank now, so I guess he'll get a little bit more.
No
recall. He gets the Mothership Core, which means that the Void Rays will stay to kill everything. GG.
Well, there you have it. That's a PVC out of SOS.
SOS is like, oh, thank God he killed my Mothership Core.
Yeah.
Oh.
That gave him the hope to stay there so I could kill everything else. And those are kind of the GGs we've been seeing from ByuL these days. It's kind of like the anti-fantasy GG timing where he GGs very, very fast in these games recently. In that game, yeah, he was definitely going to lose it, but other players maybe would have stuck it out for 1 or 2 more minutes. I like it here in game 1, just to not let it get into your head. Go into your merry-go-rounds here for game 2, and just kind of forget about that game, because, I mean, that's just SOS for you. It's really hard to deal with that for anyone.
Yeah, that was really well done. I'm very, very impressed with SOS. Really, this guy has still got it, man. Talks about reviving his career. God, I've only won like $250,000, like.
He had like a 3 to 6 month quote-unquote slump where he did like really well in Pro League and helped his team like win a couple of rounds. And then he's like, I got to come back here, win some tournaments for myself. I need some more money. Buy myself another Maserati.
He'll be able to refill his coffers if he wins GSL pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well, that's game 1. We'll see if that gets under ByuL's skin, because I think SOS already in a good place mentally. Like, ByuL had the early advantage, and SOS was totally cool with that. So going into merry-go-round, as you said, Brendan, this is really more of ByuL's map for sure.
Yeah.
This map, definitely a little bit hard to play like a longer game on as Protoss. That 3rd base gets very... It's just kind of out in the open. There's like a lot of surface area for Zerg to attack you. You're far away from your ramp into your natural base. It's tough to defend on, so we see a lot of 2 base all-ins here from Protoss.
Definitely. Think about what ByuL did in the last game, but think about that being 3 times as easy and ByuL getting even further ahead. I think SOS is going to take the necessary precautions to not let that happen, but ByuL showed very, smart harass against the 3rd base of SOS. Really delayed the Protoss there. It turned out not to matter, but I'm more so curious to see what SOS is going to do on the map. Will he go for that 2-base all-in, or will he just try to hold on 3-base once again?
I'll tell you what I want to see out of him. I don't think I've seen him do it, but I want to see the Son build. Let's see it. The Son build. Here we go, guys. Map number 2, merry-go-round, is loading up. SOS versus ByuL.
And up here in the top right, in the red, our Protoss player up a game.
Gene Green Wings SOS.
And his opponent losing that first game.
CJ Entus ByuL.
All right. Looks like we might have a possible cannon rush here.
Would it be crazy if SOS just did it on every single map?
That would be very SOS of him. That would be... I tell you...
Just to get into the head of ByuL, just going back to what I was talking about his early GGing, he does seem to be a bit more frustrated these days.
SOS fan in the audience. Usually a great cause to cheer for. Yeah, I mean, SOS has done stuff like that in the past. If you recall the Kespa Cup last year, I think it was a PvP best of 5 he was in, where it was like every game he 2-gated.
I think I remember
it was
that,
so epic. I was like just dying watching it because I'm like, oh, look at this. Every game he opens with a 2-gate and then he goes into something different.
Yeah.
It's just like you can't. There's no. You may as well not scout. Like there's just no point because he's in your brain.
Yeah, I remember that series. SOS really loves to be funky like that, be tricky, as we said. But today, on merry-go-round is going to be a Nexus first.
Okay. Nexus
SOS
first.
Not showing any trouble holding the choke on Deadwing, like you were saying, a bit wide. Merry-go-round, one of the widest chokes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he does go forward, just a little bit. Oh, thank you so much. Unfortunately, Tasteless is not here today.
Unfortunately, he's not here.
I have Tasteless's handsomer stand-in.
Oh man, I'm not wearing his clothes today. You were given his jacket today. We had to switch it up.
I was given the circus tent that houses Tasteless's gigantic body.
Oh man, I love that honey bear. That's essentially what Tasteless is.
Honey bear.
You know, he's just got that very wide body, kind of just like stumbles through the door. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? Gives you that big bear hug.
That voice, though, sounded like Minglade's voice.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Hey guys.
Minglade's the best at hugging. I love his hugs.
Yeah.
He goes in for the slow
Tell me more
hug, you know
about
what
it.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He comes up to you and he's like, hey man, and then he like stops right before he hugs you, and then he goes
Just
in
like
for
that.
the big squeeze.
I got the exact Minglade hug from Brennan. This is fantastic.
Next time you meet him, take a look at that.
Well, this is where you really hurt my feelings. When I see Moonglade, he's like, hello, Artosis, and he looks at me darkly. I'm like,
you don't get
I'm like,
any
hey,
Moonglade
Moonglade! And I
hugs?
go up for a hug, and he turns his shoulder. I'm like, oh.
He flips
this
his
is
hair in
awkward.
your face.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, I
He's like,
guess
"Get
he's
outta
just
here."
eccentric. Like, well, nothing out of the ordinary so far this game. You know, just a Nexus first Forge expansion from SOS going up against an expansion with pretty quick speed here from ByuL. Not too surprised about that because he wants to be ready for any sort of crazy builds that SOS might be planning. Again, very popular map for 2-base all-ins.
we're gonna have a Stargate coming out here once again, but talking about best of 7 series once again, the best way to get into your opponent's head is to do something that looks like what you did in the last game, but switch it up. Especially on a map like this. We've been seeing a lot of Stargate into like 6-7 gate all-in.
That's a really good all-in.
Against Zerg these days out of Protoss, especially in Pro League, in a best of 1 series. It's a great way to get into their head. But
Oh, wait. Okay, where is this second Stargate?
it's down here south of the Nexus.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought he made it near an Overlord, which was going to break my brain with how intelligent it would be. Because, like, he skipped Warp Gate research to get this Stargate really quickly, so, like, if he made another one near an Overlord, I was like, like, my whole, like, oh, man, it was going to freak me out, because it was like, oh, well, those spores are not going to be there because ByuL's that good. But anyways, he's going, it looks like 2 Stargate Void Ray on 2 bases. I don't know what's going on.
This may just be SOS saying, well, that worked so well against you in the last game, you had a lot of trouble defending it. Why don't I just do it again? And if he can make it work in this game, he's going to hugely get into the mind of ByuL.
Yeah.
Are under attack.
Well, all right. There's one Overlord dead, and he sees another Void Ray being created. And he doesn't know how far along it is, so he doesn't know 2 Stargate yet, guys.
I think he saw the Void Ray come from above that Nexus, though.
But couldn't it have scouted upwards and then gone left?
It's a possibility.
So
is.
I would say he doesn't know 100%.
Yeah.
He could suspect that was kind of fishy where that came from, though. You're right about that.
And Phoenixes, too. It's not just going to be only Void Rays this time.
Well, this is a ridiculously old strategy. Like Belshare Vestige old. I don't know what year that was, but yeah, like this is extremely old. We'll see.
That was 2013.
Yeah, it might be. I think you're right. 2013 sounds about right for this dated strategy, but this might end up working. Who knows? Let's see it. The Void Rays definitely can do some great harassment around. Now, this is a really nice move with these Speedlings, forcing a cancel once again.
Yeah, it is the same thing, but at the same time, if you look in the natural, I think there's only one Spore Crawler.
Yeah.
So you can just focus that down, get to the Queen as well, or maybe even just lift him up.
Oh my
and there
God.
you go.
This is madness. Yeah, he's going to just straight win this game, man. So good.
Yeah, well, ByuL's going to keep him to 2 base for now.
He's dealing ridiculous damage here.
Yeah.
And like, if Hydras pop out, like for instance from these eggs, he just kills them one by one.
He's got enough Phoenixes here to lift them all up. It's 5 Phoenixes now, there you go. Those are light units. They get sniped down right away.
Well, we did lose one Void Ray, so that actually takes a lot of his punch away.
He's going to try to focus down the Mothership Core. It will go down.
Okay, Mothership Core is a good win. Good small victory there. But that, like, he has killed a hell of a lot, hasn't he? He has killed a bunch of Overlords, 76 or 70 supply right now. He's killed like 3 Queens, a bunch of Hydras as well. He has so many Phoenixes right now against a really stunted economy. How do you even get enough Hydras to beat the Phoenixes?
Yeah, and look at this. He's just going to go straight
man.
into 5 more gates. And he's got nothing over here to defend these Overlords. They're all going to go down. Look at the supplies now. It's 91 of 70. He can't make units outside of what he's making right now. He has to make Overlords.
You might want to think about making another Spore. I don't know. This is really tough. Like, the larva at its natural are worthless. You can't even use them.
He's almost got enough Phoenixes as well that he can just fly straight over that Spore.
Yeah.
And go for like 1,000,000 kills. He may save it for units instead. You know, Hydras and stuff to make his push a bit stronger. He's going to get... Oh, okay. He's just going to commit to it. It looks like he's got enough Phoenixes, and here we go. More harass.
I got to ask you, Brendan, what right now is redder? ByuL's supply or his face?
Oh, wow.
From embarrassment or being supply capped.
Yeah. I thought you were saying SOS's face, which got me confused, but...
No.
Yeah. ByuL is a bit embarrassed right now. Uh-oh!
Gotta be careful about that.
Gets 1 Phoenix for free.
Well, now that he's going like many gateway charge Zealot with this, the stunted economy of ByuL, will he be able to make enough units to truly combat this? He is getting that +1 attack, so Zerglings are going to die very, very quickly here. There's no carapace upgrades for Zerg, but he is getting that +2 range, so...
Yeah.
Hydras, when you get a sufficient number or something in front of them, they chew through Zealots, no doubt. But with the Phoenixes helping, I don't know, man.
That's a question. You see it very often, actually. Wow. That's
Cue
tricky.
the Harlem
that's SOS.
Globetrotters theme right now. This is...
Oh, man. I love watching SOS play against Zerg. It's just... so much fun.
Yeah, I would watch SOS do anything.
Even knit a sweater.
It's like, SOS is like, listen, Artos, this is getting weird. Like, I just want to read this book. I'm like, no. I bet you do it in a different way. Let me watch you read this book, SOS.
Look at SOS's face as he plays, too. He's like so... He's got his mouth open the entire time. I love it, man. He's so focused. That is so many Hydras. I think he did get that Templar Archives, but he's just going for... not Colossi, Archons here instead. Yep. No Storm coming out.
Well, good way to throw his gas in. Let's see what he can get done here. He almost has charge.
And this is against an army of only Hydras.
Yeah, Hydras and a few Spores.
1 Zergling and 3 Queens. He's only now going for some Roaches, but if he can get on top of that Hydra army, the Phoenixes will help out with that.
Yeah, this could be actually a difficult engagement for SOS to pull off, to be perfectly honest. Like, if charges are used up on the Spores, and they start to attack the Spore for a moment, that gives a lot of extra shots to these Hydras. And look at that, yeah, a lot more. The Archon even attacking there. He is going in now, getting on top of these Hydras, lifting up as many as he can, taking a lot of damage from these Spores, though.
So
looks
many
like it
lives
may
on
not
Hydras
matter.
in the back. So many of them. A lot of Zealots are left over, now getting to work on the Hydras on the left side, but a pretty even fight overall, I have to say.
Yeah, it looks like it. The Hydra's going to be able to, pick off some extra Phoenixes right there. A couple free kills.
That's really huge. Every unit matters so much right now.
12 more Hydras on the way. I think that ByuL is going to go ahead and hold this.
Yeah, he will hold for now. But SOS does have that third base. Not really fully saturated today. He's only on 49 workers, but ByuL may be able to hit a timing where he can just walk across to that third base. If you look at where it is, it's pretty close to the Zerg. So,
if he's alive just a little bit longer and gets these roaches in the front, I think he has a really good chance of taking this game.
yeah.
Like, SOS's army right now is pretty pathetic, really. He lost so many Phoenixes there. He's used a ton of gas on Archons, which Archons are not good against Roaches or Hydras unless they have a lot of backup splash damage.
I would have loved to just see him get Storm first before attacking. It would have taken a while, but he would have been able to defend his third base, of course, and then maybe just punish ByuL at a fourth base or just take a straight-up fight with Storm.
Do you think he overestimated his lead with that attack?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. SOS definitely did damage with his early harass with the Phoenixes and the Void Rays, but it wasn't like game-breaking damage.
Yeah, it was like really cool, but the thing is he gave away so many of those Phoenixes that are so expensive, and like he put all of his money into making a bunch of charge lots and Archons, and that's great if it wins it for you, but the follow-up is a little bit dire at times. Well, he is at least staying on top of where the army is right now, but ByuL is maxing out very, very quickly. Not even a sentry in here.
The Storms are going to have to be pretty good, like nearly perfect, for SOS to hold this off. The one good thing is that this is going to be off creep if ByuL wants to attack into this, so it's going to be a bit harder for these units to move and spread out, really.
I think he needs like full damage off these Storms, basically. Well, we will see.
Photon Overcharge is going to push him back for now. He's trying to tip at those units that SOS has set up in a concave very smartly.
Oh, he sets off the charge on those Zealots with that little group of roaches.
It's pretty huge, but at the same time, ByuL's not fighting this. Trying to bait SOS outside of the range of that Photon Overcharge, but it's not working. Ooh. SOS pulling back in the perfect moments. He's not losing much, and a great storm on a lot of those roaches in the front.
But look at this utilization of the high ground here, trying to make an arc around incoming Zealots. You can't attack with Zealots into this situation. You need like a big surface area for them to get to charge in and all attack at once. You don't want them funneling in, but that is what ByuL is forcing right now. This is really hard for SOS. Look at this. This is so tough. All those pot shots from the top, but he is going in. He has a very strong army coming in right now with these Psy Storms, landing them pretty darn well so far. And will SOS be able to get through? Beautiful Psy Storms there.
Amazing Psy Storms, but does he have enough left over? That's the question. A lot of Zealots fighting on the right side. It looks like it will just barely be enough.
All right, yeah, that was, wow. Like, ByuL handled that really well, and SOS, he waited just long enough to have enough units here. Trying to get some more High Templars. He definitely needs some more Storms for the next fight as well.
Yeah.
But it looks like the next fight is just going to be Roaches, which is going to make it harder.
I think SOS needs to identify this. He should know.
He's making a Void Ray. He might know.
Yeah.
Void Rays would be a great ad right now.
He knows. He's already got all of those Stargates, those 2 Stargates. And this is easy. He doesn't need a Robo right now. It would be nice, actually. I think he's going to need some detection, in fact, because if I'm not mistaken, these Roaches have burrow movement now.
Yeah. Yeah, they have burrow and burrow movement.
So
that's actually a very good point. If he is actually out on the map one time, that can end the game. If he loses High Templars to a burrow movement move without an observer. Well, he sees that they have it at least, so that's really, really important. Yeah, even going to cancel realizing against burrow movement, there is absolutely nothing that he can do. He has to be around his cannons. In fact, these are going to slip through his wall, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Or, well, I guess they aren't. They're just going to sit around that pylon.
Yeah.
Maybe he's waiting for like high Templars to warp in, I don't know.
It's a cool idea, at least. SOS fully walling off that natural now. So
Really
smart.
Well, he's looking at this, realizing the way to lose. And there are just 7 Hydras out, so the Void Rays, like he's about to have 4 Void Rays. The Void Rays are going to be gigantic here against just Roach.
Yeah.
He just turns those things on. Oh my god, they're going to deal so much damage.
And look at ByuL right now. He's maxed out.
Yeah.
And it's mostly Roaches. I think it's pretty much all he's got at this point.
Brendan, this is what a series already.
Yeah.
Giving us some really, really different games already here. It's absolutely awesome.
Snipes one High Templar.
Yeah.
I believe he got that second one.
I think you're right. I think he did. But look, that was what a smart move for him to just sit around camping, waiting for High Templars to be warped in. It's just so smart. On 3 bases, you can't afford to have High Templars sniped in this situation.
Really smart play from both players. If you'll notice, SOS, he saw the bird movement, immediately canceled his 4th base. But the other reason for that was because he saw that ByuL doesn't have his 4th base saturated at all. ByuL is still on 59 drones. He doesn't have the best economy in the world. He's only slowly building up a bank now. And so SOS is like, yeah, okay, I can go with this. This is fine. Only now is he going to add that 4th base.
Well, I think that's a really good place to take his 4th base. That takes away a lot of the strong areas where ByuL can easily engage, like down that hill like we saw before.
Yeah, it's much better than the left side, I think.
It also threatens attacking into, the natural very quickly, because you don't want to get into a situation like that where all your tech goes away and a couple of your hatcheries. That can make it really, really rough. Ooh, he's got to be careful here as well. It does turn on these Void Rays, brings them forward right now. A lot of Side Storms going down. Zealot's actually running through it quite a bit. And the Hydra's picking off some of these Void Rays also. He may need to pull back here.
Take a look at the DTs doing a ton of damage at the top. He has no Overseer with this army.
SOS.
Getting a bunch of kills. That's one way to take a nice little fight to secure your 4th base, that's for sure. And only now adding Immortals. He does get that robotics up, mainly for the Observers, but of course the Immortals are going to help out so much against the heavy Roach count. Voiders are good. He doesn't commit too much to it, though.
Look at this unit comp we're seeing used against Zerg right now. This is so wild, like the DTs mixed in.
Yeah.
Obviously with Void Rays, you can pick off an Overseer in like 2 seconds if it's out of position.
Yep.
Less than that even. Wow.
One DT going to make his way down to that 5th base. And I'm not sure about this attack here from ByuL. He's going to immediately back off, but he's just drawn the army out of position and coming at that 3rd base.
And now he's going to go ahead and hit that 4th again. You realize that SOS really moving around as a death ball, so he is in some trouble. He's going to lose that 4th base during all of this. Meantime, we do have DTs attacking one of ByuL's bases. This may force SOS into an all-in type of situation.
Yeah, may just do it, but ByuL's got a huge bank. He can remax into whatever he wants at this point. And that Overseer is not being sniped. He needs to snipe that if he wants the DTs to do any damage. DT gets focused down. That 3rd base is about to go down too.
Oh man, it is in fact going to go down. Well, SOS moving forward right now. These Void Rays going to be able to take out the few Hydras remaining and really do some work on these Roaches. But we do have, as you said, not quite a remax, but a lot of units being made at home for ByuL.
Yeah. That 1 DT, he takes out the 5th base by himself, but SOS right now on 2 bases. Both of them may not even be mining at this point. It's pretty far along in this game, 27 minutes. And so his economy is pretty much wrecked. He's got 52 workers, but not many of those guys are mining.
Well, this is just crazy. In fact, only long distance mining going on for SOS right now. ByuL getting low though. He's got like very low patches at his natural. His main is basically dry. His 3rd base is dry. It's really his 4th base that he's relying on here. So if SOS could make a strong move and get rid of that, that would be gigantic. But I don't know that his army can really do much of anything right now.
Yeah, it is so puny at this point. ByuL is thinking about taking down that 3rd base again, and he may just be able to do it. If you look at the 4th base of ByuL, he's got 1 Spine and 1 Spore. It's not really enough to defend, but SOS can't pull his army that far out of position to deal with it.
Yeah, like if he just had like a base mining, he might be able to warp in 5 Zealots and go over and just destroy. Look at this
Look
move.
at this.
Oh
He's
my
sitting on
God.
that one patch. He's like, no, you will never mine from that one patch ever.
And it looks like some poking in going on here from ByuL. Probe's being pulled out to help out as well. Realizes that this is it. He's got to defend this perfectly right now. A beautiful side storm goes off. Does he have another? Doesn't look like it. Oh, he does have one more, but I don't think that matters. There's too much here, and GG, ByuL takes game number 2.
Wow, what a game on merry-go-round. SOS makes it really, really interesting on what was probably ByuL's map choice. And, you know, SOS's victory looked pretty one-sided, but this one was back and forth for ByuL. But ByuL, he ekes it out, and that's very important here to tie it up. He doesn't want to get behind O2 going into the break.
You know, I think SOS had a very strong early game here. Maybe overestimated his position slightly with that Zealot timing attack. If he had skipped that and just tried to get like a third base going, or maybe even attacked at a different angle, maybe everything is different. But very interesting, very cool game there. And so far, the order of the day is the Void Ray.
SOS bringing it back, man. He doesn't even care. We've seen so much Oracle play in recent times, but he's like, well, you know, the Void Ray is still strong, and I'm going to show everybody about that.
That's right. With him, they are skill rays, by the way.
Pretty much. SOS showing that they could be used in 2 different ways as well. It's a very nice late-game harassing unit if you've got enough, and also for early rushes. That 2-star gameplay with a very delayed warp gate research was really, really cool.
Yeah.
You almost never see that.
No, I mean, it's so old, and it was even obviously fixed up from what it used to be, but that's like, you never see that. That's not a build. What?
That's a build
That's not a
clearly
strat.
brought out to try to take a quick one out of ByuL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he almost did. He did such damage with it.
Yeah.
But here we are. It's map number 3. The series is tied 1-1. It's basically a best of 5 here. How will ByuL deal with the craziness that SOS is pulling out? I don't know.
I don't know either, man. We're going to have to see. He did well in that last game. Let's see how he can do in game number 3.
You better jump, bitch.
Down here in the bottom left, in the red, our Protoss player.
Gene Green Wings SOS.
And his opponent.
CJN2's ByuL.
I almost had something really cool to say, and it just, I was
Didn't
like, I
come
can't
out.
say it quick enough. I can't say it quick enough.
They don't give you enough time on that second intro.
It's really fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's imbalanced. Even.
Imbalanced intros here.
That is a rather quick probe scout, isn't it?
It's right after the first pylon.
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
Well, he does have the pylon in place if he wants to go for a forge, but with this early of a scout, it may just be to make sure that ByuL isn't doing anything tricky on a 2-player map, you know? And just go, like, get a very early scout, be safe, and put down a Nexus.
I think that you're exactly right. I think that's what we're seeing here. He wants to be really, really greedy here. And he'll be able to. Just for the cost of this early scout, he can make sure of it. That's one thing I like about SOS, by the way. Like, he'll certainly take risks, but like this was kind of like a safe way to try to be greedy in the way that he wanted. So
the other bonus part of sending a probe over this early is that you basically have to make a pool as the Zerg. So it forces out that early pool. It gets you the scouting information to be safe with the Nexus first, and you just get a slight advantage in the early game.
Absolutely the case. Couple extra hits there on that probe means that the hatchery doesn't really get blocked, so that's nice for him as well.
Unfortunately, he took too much damage in the main to delay it that much.
I like that he's doing a lot of forge openings here. It's really cool. You know, with Gateway has been just more popular in general than Forge for a very, very long time. So someone like ByuL, you know, always playing against the best players in the world, is going to have much less practice with something like this. But I mean, like, for instance, SOS could focus practice on this for 1 week. So, I mean, why the hell not? That's
Yeah.
You can be so much more ready with this and really refresh yourself on all the various tiny little timing differences. So, pretty cool stuff. Great series so far, by the way.
Yeah, I'm already enjoying it so much just in the first 2 games. There are some kind of players that are extremely solid in StarCraft 2, and I'm sure in StarCraft Brood War just the same. But they're kind of boring at times, especially you get in the best of 7 series. They just play like too perfectly, like too straight up. And SOS is not really that kind of player. So he offers a different taste,
Yeah.
I would say, to the StarCraft 2 scene.
He certainly isn't tasteless. That's for sure.
No.
Well, I tell you, if this game is as good as the last 2, I think that's when the confetti comes down and the sirens go off, and on the screen blinks a big graphic that says, "We've upgraded this semifinal to the finals, and we're just going to figure out the champion tonight."
Man, this could be a finals for sure.
But the entertainment of these games is seriously like,
Yeah.
I love it, man.
ByuL sees this +1 coming.
Yeah. Let's see what he wants to do with it. The +1 was actually started before Warp Gate Research.
Yeah. Very, very quick.
Yeah. We'll see what he wants to do with it. You know, if you have an early forge, unless you have something crazy planned and you just wanted a forge opening, you're going to want to get your +1 pretty darn quick, just because it's one of the best upgrades in the game. So,
Especially against Zerg.
yeah, especially.
It just powers up your Zealots so much against Zerg lanes. It's pretty ridiculous. We see ByuL committing to speed once again.
Well,
Pretty smart.
yeah. Without speed, you don't really have a whole lot. In fact, that's my vote for the most important upgrade in all of StarCraft.
Zergling speed.
Zergling speed.
Yeah?
Like, if I think
What
for
about
a moment,
like
if
Colossus
Zerg-
range?
No, it's Zergling speed. Like if Zerg didn't have Zergling speed, the amount of abusive things you could do to them, like you could be so greedy, you could kill them so much easier. Like if they had to get a Ro4 to defend things, you know how terrible that would be for Zerg. Oh my God, I would just.
That would be disgusting.
I already stopped playing Zerg, but I would stop
Moonlight's
again.
shivering in his boots right now watching this.
Moonlight,
Just thinking about that.
Yeah, imagine playing this game without Zergling speed as an upgrade.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to play against Terran. What are you going to do?
You would lose.
Yeah,
Straight up.
pretty much.
That's about it.
So,
And look at this.
Yeah.
He's going to show the Overlord. I'm not sure if that's on purpose. I doubt it is. But it's going to be tricky all the same. He's only going to see 2 gates. You may notice they're slightly later based on the timing, but it goes back to what you were saying before, you know, going against Forge openings, it might change up the timing just a little bit to confuse ByuL.
Yeah, and if he can notice that those are a bit later, that's actually... Oh, look at this. He's chrono boosting out +1 armor.
Yep. It's going to be a 1-1 push, it looks like.
That is crazy. You just don't see things. This doesn't
is SOS,
exist,
man.
guys.
It's SOS.
What you're watching here doesn't exist. You're watching a Phantom Ghost build.
It exists tonight, but I think ByuL has an idea. He's already getting Burrow.
Yeah, you're right. He's looking at this and saying, no. Even with a 3 gateway expansion, like this is a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Like that Nexus he should have already been out there with the probe and let Zerglings kill it already. That would have sold it a lot better, I think. But this is... I don't even know what I mean, he's going up 2 more gates, I guess. So 7 gateway attack.
Yeah.
I think he wants him to come down and cancel this.
1-1, 7 gate. He's sticking at 48 probes. This is very, very much a specific timing build out of SOS. This Overseer, though, should see everything.
And he sees Chrono on +1 armor. Believe me, he knows that's +1 armor, so that's like... And you're right, he already kind of sniffed it out. Getting Burrow this early, that's like the perfect defensors.
Yep.
This is going to be really hard for SOS to pull off. Not 100% impossible. Burrow is a big thing to overcome, but when you have enough firepower, the burrowing and unburrowing doesn't do that much.
Yeah. He's also got a macro hatch pretty early on. This is still a lot of Protoss units, but there you go. There's that Burrow. It's going to save them for now. Those guys that were out of position.
Does it save the hatchery, though?
Armor is done. These are 1-1 Protoss units. He's going to have a billion force fields. Those sentries have been out forever.
Yeah. Those sentries were out before this game even began. They have so much energy.
These are the
It's
sentries
crazy.
from last game, guys.
Well, he's going to get this third base with relative ease, and he's getting a robo at home that's going to give him observers to detect. As long as he doesn't lose this army that's up there, like, he should be able to defend everything.
Look at all those drones transferring to the gold. That is so risky, but it may just pay off.
Yeah, maybe.
If SOS doesn't notice it, but he notices it. He should know. I'm not sure if there's enough roaches. He's going to try to snipe out a bunch of these sentries, I suppose. But
Well, he's picking off quite a few of them. He's not really losing too many roaches right now.
and still no observer on the map. The robotics facility only finishes now. He's got roach speed, but he's on 2 base with the macro hatch. Is it
Yeah.
going to be enough? That's the question.
Well, you can do a lot with Roach Bro movement. Like, these roaches are tough, but as you were saying, this is 1-1 on these Protoss units, so it's not like they are just... This isn't just a gateway all-in. It's... He does have a third base. He does have an additional upgrade on what you would expect.
Yeah.
This would be a big move here. If he can just kill this third base right now, that would be very, very nice for him, but... SOS is getting observers, so if he just gets the critical mass, maybe he just kills everything.
Great concave for ByuL, but not enough units. Just abusing that Burrow more and more here. Looks like he should be able to get that third base. No full time overcharge is going to help that out. Observer comes over and he picks off a bunch of roaches, though.
Yeah, that is a big deal. He's going to have to kill off this additional hatchery. He actually only has 5 sentries left, and they're getting much lower on energy, so it's not quite as easy as it was earlier on. He
lost
doesn't
that
have that
third
third.
base.
Yeah.
No gas going to be taken from there.
Yeah, he's actually getting the Twilight as well, realizing that this game is not... yeah, okay. Well, I guess it makes him move slower under there, but this is rough right here. That's a good move by ByuL. I feel like he's going to be able to take this.
He's just done so much damage. Like you said, those sentries do not have that much more energy left over. And with that macro hatch, ByuL can actually sit back on 2 base here for a bit.
Yeah.
As long as he gets enough harass damage done in the base of the Protoss.
Well, I think he probably will. Like, that's a big number of roaches. Right now, we do see ByuL just kind of throwing down more and more hatcheries. SOS trying to play whack-a-mole here. Hey, every unit that he catches right now is really important since both of them are very low on economy. Oh, and look at this. He actually is going to clean up. ByuL, maybe he's multitasking a little bit off here for a moment. And he does have Blink on the way. Blink is like the moment where this swings right back to SOS.
Oh, yeah. And even the Dark Shrine, that is
I think
so
that's
wonky.
it is, but I like it. I think it's cool. I think any like low econ weird game, like there's so much weird stuff going on that like it's hard to factor in everything DTs can do to you as well.
It is like the perfect moment, like you're saying, to just throw it down. ByuL's just not going to expect it coming his way. He has no detection on the map. Does he even have a spore crawler?
That's a good question. He does not. Zero detection, as you say.
So with all these Blink Stalkers, all you have to do is blink on top of a bunch of Overseers, and you do a lot of damage with those DTs on the map.
Well, we do have the gold base up right now for ByuL. He's continuing to make a lot of roaches. The one pylon on the map has been found, so even when this Dark Shrine finishes, there's it's a pretty long way before he can actually get anything going. A lot of roaches killing off a lot of stalkers right there. Really needs his stalker count to be very, very high because I feel like this won't go back to a third base for SOS. And I love him trying to poke down this +2. That +2 upgrade is just so important.
One Zealot actually going to cause some trouble there at the gold base. Nothing to defend it. May cause a bit of a... Oh, no, he just burrows. Very smart.
All right. Well, that's... it is. I love moves like that.
Yeah.
4 DTs, guys. Is this the moment?
He may just be able to snipe the hatchery with
Oh,
this.
he doesn't even see him coming in. He's going to kill the drones first. I love it because, like, with no Overlord here, it's 0% to get anything over there in time, even after killing all those drones.
Oh, and he's even going to save the DTs. He's, like, already loading them up because he knows he has the hatchery secured.
Wow. Well, ByuL is maxed out, so there's that. But SOS kind of running circles around him right now with these DTs.
SOS plays the most entertaining PvZ builds, man. This
Yeah.
is think of where we've come from in this game already. So many bases have been killed and put up once again. Whack-a-mole is the best way to describe it, as you said before.
All right, well, right now we have 3 Immortals added into this mix. It seems like SOS has just somehow got himself into exactly what he needs to kill this. But we'll see, that is a lot of moving roaches. He's going all in with it. He's got to get something to happen right here, right now. Picking off 2 Immortals, 3 Immortals going down. No energy left on these sentries, so he just needs to use Blink Stalkers, but it looks like he easily should have enough.
Yeah, I don't know about that move, honestly. With the +2 done here for the Protoss, if you ever take a move like that, you're just going to be blinked on, and you're going to lose absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And that he will. He's going to lose all of those roaches. GG.
Wow, SOS going up 2-1. Very exciting series going on here. Just so different.
Yeah. You know, just another, I wouldn't call it reckless. ByuL definitely was behind from that point. He was only on 47 drones. He lost his gold base. He just barely got that third base up. And the DTs were still on the map. I feel like ByuL at that moment in time, he's like, I just got to kill him now or I lose the game.
Yeah.
But he may have been able to play from behind there, but I know a lot of Zerg players are yelling at me like, no way, not in a million years.
Yeah,
but
no, well, that's what they do, but, you know, I think that,
that's what they do.
that's what they do. But, like, I feel like when he got the Burrow Movement Roaches in the main base of SOS, I felt like that was a good opportunity for him to do some more damage, but he basically, like, tried to do a little bit and then just left them burrowed and they got cleaned up. And that was like kind of a very awkward moment for SOS because you notice he even had to warp in Zots to deal with them because he's like, "Ooh, I'm trying to get DTs here."
Yeah,
you know,
the DTs were actually so smart, not wonky at all. It was like the perfect place to put him down.
I think you're
did
right. I think it
so
was
much damage.
It was pretty weird. He's on 2 base. He doesn't really have a lot going.
It was
like,
weird, but it was so smart. Like in that moment in time, because ByuL was just not going to expect it. He had 0 detection when they came out, when they were hitting his hatchery.
Yeah,
so.
that was a devastating move, and that totally just sealed the game for him.
Swung it right back. He got +2 in blink, and there you go.
Yeah, pretty crazy series so far.
Yeah, pretty insane. Loving the game so far. So glad to be down here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tasteless.
Well, you got to take him where
Hopefully
you can get
he's
him,
watching.
right? Series like this, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what other builds that he may have up his sleeve here. That was like
this is like only
he
the
tried
beginning.
to open with a 1-1 like 5 to 7 gate. It
Yeah.
was
seven towards the end, I think.
Yeah.
In total.
Well, I think we're going to jump to a quick little commercial break, guys, and when we come back, maybe SOS will finish him off. I don't know. We'll see.